guys, Ash here, Raid Shadow Legends. Welcome to the video. Send us some love, some positive vibes your way, especially if you need them out there today. So we got a lot of news today. A lot of it's stuff that we already speculated on yesterday. That is Alice coming to the game, Alice in Wonderland IP. There's going to be an event dungeon. There's going to be 5 new mighty warriors added to the game, including a 14-day loyalty program, just like a Skeletor, for example, inside the game. They also released this teaser. There's also champion rebalancing for Skullard, Vargal, and Tramaria. I'm not going to read through it out here. Odds are you've seen it in other areas, but if you haven't, I'll include all the text in the description of this video on both of those champion rebalances. Again, Tramaria and Skullard, Vargal. I said in yesterday's video that I'm very excited about Alice in Wonderland in Raid, especially with a dark kind of, I don't know, kind of almost gothic aesthetic coming January 8th to the game. So that's all the news or the updates for you guys. But truth be told, I wasn't going to upload this video today. I was going to upload this video that's never going to see the light of day, even though it's kind of a shame because I did have it edited. So did pay for the editing and I paid for the shards, but I'm going to spoil it right now. I opened, after opening 105 mythic or primal shards, in case you missed the video, spoiler alert, 105 primal shards in my last primal opening video, not one mythical, right? Nothing. And then I opened 120 void shards on the Feedy 15x. How many did I get here? To 122 void shards, and going after Feedy, who's a beast, right? And what did I get? One legendary, and it was Blind Seer. So, you know, I do think it was a fun video and whatnot, right? Hopefully it would have been enjoyable for you guys, but I actually saw, after I had this edited and uploaded and all ready to go, or almost uploaded, I saw this video by my man, Big Papa Drock. Now, Big Papa Drock, the title of the video, by the way, is Why I'm Not Spending a Dime on Raid in January and Maybe Longer. And it kind of gave me a soul-searching moment about, do I want, on the cusp of such a great video, do I really want to come through with a shard opening video? You know, I swore off Soulstone videos last year or a year ago. I stopped doing, what the heck are they? I don't know, Prism shards. I stopped doing those. But have I gone far enough? But moreover, before I get into why I decided not to upload the shard and you know, kind of piggybacking on some of the points that Drock makes, and I'll link that video. 2 quick points, one related, one unrelated. Related point. Or unrelated point, I have probably my favorite collab in the history of the channel going live on Monday with Big Papa Drock. I can't wait to get the feedback on that one because it was so fun. It felt so fresh to me, and I digress, but it was cool. But number 2 related. I've seen, by the way, like J Gigs has been doing, I felt like he led the way with the no dime Decembers and Januaries and whatever the heck, right? He's been a consummate voice of I would say constructive criticism and humor along the way towards Raid. I've never done a collab with Jay Gigs, like one of the only creators that I haven't done with it. I'd love to do one, maybe on topics like these in the future. But so what I'm trying to say is Drock is certainly not the first creator to ever, you know, say I'm not going to spend for a while. And I've never taken part. Not because I don't love these creators or that I don't agree in their points. Not because I want to be a shill for Plarium. I just never really saw, like, okay, so what? They're making like a lot of money, millions and millions, and you not spending $1,000 or even $10,000 a month is not going to matter. It's not going to matter. Now, there is something to be said that us creators, with our platforms here in Raid, that maybe we can, you know, get some of you guys on board as well to maybe make a difference. But I've also been skeptical, and cynical is a better word, that not spending, even my audience, is really it's gonna be a drop in the bucket, and Plarium's gonna go, okay, I'll see you in February, see you in March, I'll see you whenever you decide to spend, we're gonna be here, you know? So, but you know what? The things have gotten to a point in the game where I don't want to be a broken record here, right? I've complained about everything in this game that I don't like. I made the 3 reasons I'm raging video. I've talked about things from dungeon divers not applying to all dungeons, Minnow needing new levels. I've talked about, you know, quality of life things and a lot more, right? Everything from silver to new player experience and the Hydra clan boss changes, how they went to fix one problem and they made pain points for 80% of the rest of the player base, you know, maybe more than that, you know, didn't really necessarily fix the problem not entirely at least. And what did it do? It just meant a lot of players quit, you know? And here's the thing. I don't want to just keep complaining into the ether because it's obviously not making an impact. It's not making a difference, right? Like no one's, listening to these same pain points we've been talking about for years. So I need to try a new approach, frankly, you know? And that's going to be, I'm not here to pander. I'm not here to demand all the things that I hate about the game. But I am going to join Big Papa Drock in my symbolic no dime January, right? Just because, again, it's more symbolic. I don't think they're going to care, frankly, you know? But I am going to join them anyway, right? And no shard opening videos this month, you know? And the thing is this game is really good, I think, or otherwise I wouldn't be covering it. You know, I started with a channel with almost 1 million subscribers that I could just be playing those games where I came from. You know, I don't need to cover this game. I have a day job, I have stuff, right? But I love this. I like this game. You know, there's a lot of reasons behind that. Number one is I think that it's the best gacha game out there in terms of, especially as you get to the end game, there's a lot of stuff to do. And to their credit, to Plarium's credit, because I want to be fair here. I'm trying something new. They've done a lot of good stuff, and more good stuff is on the way. Background battles is on the way. You know, they've mentioned that they're going to take a look at market in areas like that, you know, so that's great. They've gone in, they've done the champion rebalancing as well, right? A little bit more frequently. They have a long way to go. You know, we could always ask for a lot more. And in this case, we could probably deserve it too. They've done a lot. They've done, back in my day, guys, you could go in there and there wasn't even a team setup button, you know? Like you had to manual everything, you know? Any old school players remember those days? Like there was no team setup where you can go in and customize all of their skills and whatnot. You just had to go, you know? They added super raids. They added instant Hydra battles are coming in the next couple months. We have live arena leagues coming in the next couple months. We have the super, you know, raids almost everywhere. Keyword, operative word, almost. So I don't want to sit here and just be like, and they're adding a lot of content to the game, right? We have Clan Siege, Centranos, Curse City, whatever. New clan boss, Chimera. I think Chimera personally is interesting. I'm curious what you guys think of it. So like the reason I'm saying all this is because I don't want to sit like here and be like, make you all quit and say this game sucks. But the truth is the competition is getting a lot freaking better, right? King Arthur Legends Rise, like, people said this about Dragonair too. I didn't think this genuinely. And I didn't say it. I never said Dragon. You've never heard me ever say any game, period, is a raid killer. I've never done it on this channel, right? In truth be told, no one has been a raid killer. I love King Arthur Legends Rise. I've been playing it every day, you know, since my sponsorship, and I intend to play it more. And I think I will have another sponsorship at some point in the future too. But I'm doing it regardless because, frankly, I think that they're setting a new standard. And just like Watcher of Realms did to a lesser extent than King Arthur, I like King Arthur like a little bit more, frankly, because they made a game that's great with great graphics. That used to be Raid's calling card. You know, the graphics, they're amazing. And that was always true, and it still is true. But now there's other options out there. Should I force you guys to watch Live Arena in the background? The pain. I just want you guys to leave the channel here. I don't know. We'll go full auto. But yeah, guys, I don't know. King Arthur Legends Rise, they fixed all of the pain points that people complain about in Raid. And, you know, we have Godforge coming out, right? Fateless team does amazing work. So that's on the horizon. Moreover, I know of a few other games that are unreleased that are on the horizon as well that will compete with Raid. Some will fail. Some will succeed. But right now, what I'm trying to say is you can't just coast by and ignore the player base on some of these obvious low-hanging fruit ways to benefit the community. You can't do it, or you're going to lose the community. And frankly, even if all these other games are successful, even if I go on to cover Godforge and I go on to cover King Arthur Legends Rise more, I don't want to leave Raid. Like, I really enjoy Raid. I really, you know, I'm a big sucker and I know it. But I love Raid Shadow Legends, man. I'm not afraid to say it, damn it. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing it. You know, I love the community. I love the creators. I love the ecosystem. And I love the options that we have in the game. I like the champions. I like the strategy involved. But frankly, they're falling behind for the first time. And if there's somebody watching this from Plarium, which I know there is, decision makers, which I know there are, the thing is this is beneficial for everybody if you make some common sense changes by listening to the community and the creators that are echoing a lot of the pain points of the community. Because you've done a great job and you have a great game and we love the game, right? There's not that many of us that love Raid Shadow Legends, by the way, out there, right? We don't have a 100 million player base here. We're talking low millions in Raid. And you saturated marketing for years and years and years. So kind of the players that you have right now, to some extent, are the players that you've got. So you got to keep us happy, you know, at least somewhat happy, right? At least somewhat. And listen, you've done a lot of good, but with everything that good that you've done, with a couple exceptions, it's been to drive more income, right? And listen, I know they're a public company, right? Publicly owned. But the thing is if you want to really protect your asset, your bottom line, you could give us some stuff that we've been asking for years and years and years that other games now give as a standard, you know? And that will keep you making money for years to come. And you can continue, to implement your gotcha mechanics, right? You can continue to gouge us, as I know you will, as we all know you will. I mean, we're playing Raid Shadow Legends after all. You can continue to price gouge us. You can release your void mythicals or whatever you're going to do in the future, right? That's going to happen regardless. But in the meantime, why are you risking losing the player base to your competition? Your biggest asset, your spenders, the people who are here, even the non-spenders, the people who make up this community. Why are you risking it? For an immediate cash out? The immediate cash out no one wins, right? The player base feels milked, and the creators who keep the most active and most spending player base, frankly, engaged, they're going to leave to games that have better offerings that mitigate these same pain points in this genre. And it's just like there's endless videos of describing what's wrong with this game. So I'm talking to you, decision makers at Plarium. You know, what you've done is amazing. You've created the best game in this genre, and you've made a lot of money in doing so. And rightfully so, like well-deserved, you made a good product. But you're falling behind. You're not going to have a product in 5 years, maybe 3 years, you know, unless you just simply give us what the standard is now. Long ago are the days that you can make a game where there's 18 obvious pain points that all you can do is spend to get your way out of them, and just know that you can get carried on your graphics, right? And the number of champions you have in the game. You know, you need to listen to community feedback and react in a positive way. You know, I feel like there's a little bit too much, with all due respect, I feel like there's a little bit too much stubbornness on the team in terms of, you know, oh, player base just thinks they want this, but they don't really want this, or just some sort of reluctance to make some common sense changes, you know? I hate to keep harping on the same little ones, but like the Hydra, I haven't really heard from many people at all. I think my last poll was 95% of people that still are not a fan of the changes. You can make mistakes and you can revert. Even people who know the product because you made the game, and all credit given where credit is due. But even people who make mistakes can say, okay, we played this one wrong. We're gonna revert, you know? And I totally acknowledge not doing it immediately, you know? More data is good, you know? But man, maybe revert some changes, you know, on the Hydra, personally. But even beyond that, like little tiny small things, like Big Papa Drock mentioned the market. This market's not useful for anybody. Early game, mid game, end game, you know? I mean, hopefully changes to that are coming, but like that's not the biggest problem, but it's just something people have been repeating for years and years, you know? Minnow, you know, I mean, it feels like I am just beating a dead horse here, but add more levels, add a hard mode, add ways that we don't have to endlessly look at our champions doing the same dungeon 150 times in a row to get one champion's masteries, you know? It's not satisfying, and sure, background battles will mitigate that a little bit, the repetitiveness of it. But the truth be told is, it's like, this is not where the industry is right now. It's not where the genre is anymore. The endless grinding with no end in sight, and not even adding common sense quality of life improvements that can reduce that grind, aka levels like you've done for every other dungeon. If you're gonna have dungeon divers, make it all dungeons. Allow us the autonomy to choose where we want to farm. They're called dungeons after all. If you don't want to call them dungeons, then change the name. It feels insulting. It feels insulting to the player base, you know? the pop-ups, maybe ease up a little bit on the pop-ups, you know? Listen, I'm going to cap it here because I've made a million videos complaining, but I figured I'd try a little bit of a different approach here and kind of like speak directly to Plarium while I'm talking to you guys too, my audience, and really hope that there can be some change, some positive change here early this year. I really hope so, you know, because not spending, it's not going to have a big impact, I don't think. You know, some people might disagree with that, but I think that just a reality check that maybe try some of these things, maybe try listening and really acting on the player base's recommendations, the people who grind and play your game for hours and hours and hours and hours every day, maybe hearing that feedback and implementing some of those changes beyond what you've done, which has been significant. But a lot of things are just unanswered at this point. Anyway, I'm going to cap it here, guys. Let me know how you feel in the comments below. Maybe you disagree with me. Maybe you think that, you know, there's the game is moving in a good direction. We'll end it there, guys. Much love, and as always, take care.